Hello and welcome. I'm Blair Blackwell, and this is the Daily Cyber Brief. Here's today's rundown of the biggest cybersecurity stories you need to know today. Good morning. This is the Daily Cyber Brief for February 18th. Here are the key cyber risks shaping today's session. State-aligned zero-day operations targeting telecom and device makers, a stealthy Android firmware supply chain backdoor, and AI and developer tools turning into new command and control and intrusion paths. We start with targeted zero-day activity. Bleeping Computer reports a suspected China-linked group has quietly exploited a critical Dell vulnerability since mid-2024, underscoring how OEM software and support components remain valuable entry points. And in Singapore, Dark Reading says the nation and its 4 major telecom providers detected and disrupted a zero-day attack attributed to Chinese hackers, with officials crediting tight government-industry coordination for the rapid response. On mobile and supply chain, researchers detail Kinadu, an Android backdoor embedded in device firmware during the build phase and delivered via signed over-the-air updates. Reporting from Kaspersky and others indicates the payload can hijack browser searches, commit ad fraud, harvest data, and remotely control compromised tablets and phones, a reminder that trusted update channels can be subverted long before devices reach users. AI and enterprise egress are also in focus. The Hacker News highlights new research showing web-enabled AI assistants, including Microsoft Copilot and xAI Grok, can be abused as covert command and control relays, blending malicious traffic with legitimate corporate communications. Checkpoint dubs the broader pattern AI in the middle. In a related tactic, investigators describe a smart loader campaign that clones an Aura model context protocol server, a connector used by AI agents to deliver the StealC information stealer, tying AI integration layers to traditional malware delivery. Developers face fresh exposure as well. Bleeping Computer flags multiple critical flaws in popular Visual Studio Code extensions, collectively downloaded over 128 million times, that could enable remote code execution and theft of local files, another reminder that the extension ecosystem is now part of the attack surface. Following on from earlier this week's coverage, researchers say the evolving click-fix social engineering play is now dropping Modelo Rat by abusing the Windows DNS lookup command, showing how the same lore keeps adapting to new controls. Turning to advisories, CISA added several issues to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, reinforcing prioritization for organizations that track active-in-the-wild threats. CISA also posted new notices affecting industrial and physical security gear, including a critical Honeywell CCTV weakness that could allow unauthenticated account takeover and access to camera feeds, plus updates spanning Delta Electronics motion control software, GE Vernova grid tools, and Siemens engineering suites. On enforcement, Polish authorities arrested a suspect tied to the Phobos ransomware operation, seizing devices and credentials. It's a modest but meaningful disruption in a persistent extortion ecosystem. Looking ahead, expect heightened scrutiny around OEM utilities and telecom infrastructure as investigators map exposure from the Dell zero-day story and related activity, and continued tracking of Kinadu's firmware-level footprint across Android brands. You should be watching Android firmware update pipelines and low-cost tablets and phones that rely on third-party builds. You should also keep an eye on AI service domains, MCP connectors, and developer environments such as VS Code extensions, along with CCTV and industrial software in critical manufacturing and energy, and the broader identity and remote access paths targeted by ransomware crews. The takeaway: attackers are leaning into trust, supply chains, AI assistance, extensions, and OEM support channels to hide in plain sight. Security teams face a busy validation cycle, but the playbook is familiar. Verify what you trust, and watch the seams where convenience meets control. That's it for today's edition of the Daily Cyber Brief. Thanks for listening. I'm Blair Blackwell. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not cybersecurity, legal, or financial advice.